Hello, everyone, and welcome to another enlightening episode of Skin Goals. I'm your host, Lisa Avalos, and here's my co host, Kelly.
Hey all, I'm Kelly Sittler and excited to be here with you guys for another episode of Skin Goals, such an enthusiast in the topic. And we have our brilliant guest joining us, Dr. Hawasatu Dumbuya, PhD, who is Director of Clinical Research and Scientific Communications for La Roche-Posay at L'Oreal. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you so much for having me. And please call me Awa.
We'll do it.
We love to shine your expertise. But yes, we'll call you Awa. Awa, can you just give us a little background? We did have you in the last episode, but if you didn't tune in yet to that one, give us a little background on your career at L'Oreal.
Yes. So I am a trained research scientist with expertise in cell biology and signaling, plus clinical evaluation for skincare products. I hold a bachelor degree in pharmacology and toxicology because I went to college with the intention of becoming a medical doctor. But in college, I really fell in love with research. And so once I completed my undergraduate studies, I decided to earn my PhD in molecular pharmacology and physiology. And towards the end of my PhD, I wanted to have the opportunity to do translational work. So I knew that I wanted to join the industry and the cosmetic industry because a lot of my work was focusing on skin pigmentation and understanding how the sun impacts our skin. Now, as part of La Roche-Posay team, I really love being able to make the incredible research that we do translatable to various communities.
That's amazing. And we appreciate all your hard work in the field because we all get to benefit with glowing, beautiful skin.
Yes, truly. And honestly, I can understand why you wanted to get into the communication ends of things because you're such a beautiful communicator and helping us understand all of these topics and, really dive in. So, and last time we really dove into a bit on, sun and the effects on skin and a study or two here and there. And I wanted to ask you, Awa, why is sun protection in individuals with the skin of color such an important discussion right now?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked. The reason is because most education and advocacy, including research surrounding the potential skin damage that sunlight can cause, such as sunburn, photoaging, and skin cancers, it really has been targeting white individuals or individuals with lighter skin. Overall, this has created several misconceptions of photoprotection needs and benefits for skin of color individuals or individuals with darker skin. More and more recent research now clearly reveals that sun exposure can also lead to potential skin damage in individuals with darker skin. It may just present differently compared to individuals with lighter skin.
Gotcha. So, not to be punny, but that big gas fireball in the sky, could you shed some light on some of these misconceptions?
Yes. So I can share two major misconceptions about sun protection for skin of color individuals. So the first one is because of our melanin-rich skin, because our skin has high levels of melanin, and that's what makes us darker, individuals with darker skin think that they may not need sun protection. So I was one of them for a very long time. Because of my dark complexion, I thought that my melanin is sufficient to protect against the sun. While it is true that our higher levels of melanin in our skin provide some natural protection against the sun, it is not sufficient to protect fully against potential sun damage. The second major misconception is that individuals with darker skin do not get skin cancers. So that's a myth that we have to debunk because those skin cancers are less common in skin of color. So with individuals with darker skin cancers in skin of color are often detected at a more advanced stage and are associated with a worse prognosis compared to white counterparts. So it's very important that we understand the potential risk or damage that excessive sun exposure can cause to all, including people of color.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I too thought I was invincible against the sun, but also with all the climate change, I feel like it's even getting stronger and stronger, and more the need to protect ourselves from the sun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Awa, could you tell us a little bit about the objective of the study and why it was important to evaluate the effects of regular sunscreen usage in patients of skin of color?
Yes, I will be happy to share. So, to give a little bit of context for our audience, um, something that had, let me see if I can move my screens. Okay. So, on the screen, I'm sharing the study design that L'Oreal did in collaborations with dermatologists. So, as I mentioned earlier, most of the education and advocacy surrounding the impact of sun on their skin and the benefits of sunscreen and the protection benefits of sunscreen has been focused on white individuals. L'Oreal Research and Innovation partnered with dermatologists and recruited 100 unhealthy individuals of African American and Hispanic descent and instructed them to use a sunscreen daily for 8 weeks by applying on their face, neck, and hands. And the objective was really to evaluate the potential benefits of regular sunscreen usage in subjects with skin of color, because at the time there was no study that were done. The study was designed with two groups. One group was given a sunscreen with an SPF 30, and the other group was given with an SPF 60. And after 8 weeks of usage, the team monitored the overall skin quality of the face, neck, as well as hands.
That's amazing. And as Susie scientists, as we all are, because we love skincare, I'm so interested on what the key findings were regarding the benefits of using sunscreen.
Yes, so overall, after 8 weeks of sunscreen use, all participants saw a reduction in hyperpigmentation and noticed an evening of their skin. So that's very important because most people of color, the major skin concerns is discoloration, dark spots, or even hyperpigmentation. But what we notice is that just wearing a sunscreen of an SPF 30 or SPF 60 can improve overall skin tone. And so on this slide, I wanted to highlight some of the key findings to show you. So on this slide, what I'm demonstrating is a Black male, a picture before he started using the sunscreen and after 8 weeks. And what you can see or appreciate is that by just wearing sunscreen after 8 weeks, some of the dark spots on his skin faded. And he also had a natural glow here on his cheek. Here's another example of a subject with Hispanic descent, and you can see similarly that the dark spot on his cheeks started to fade away after 8 weeks of using sunscreen, and he has a natural glow on his cheekbone. Here's one last image that I wanted to demonstrate is that now you're looking at the same subject, but their hands, and what you see is that before starting sunscreen, the subject had hyperpigmentation. This is where it's highlighted. You see those dark spots? But after using sunscreen, just sunscreen for 8 weeks on his hands, you can see that most of these hyperpigmented spots faded away. So overall, we were able to demonstrate or provide clinical evidence to demonstrate the benefits of sunscreen in improving photoaging signs as well as pigmentary concerns in skin of color individuals.
It's really amazing. I can see the difference. And I can see the skin on the right, like the 8 week after that's like the type of skin that I want to have. Like it has that glow and that it looks like healthy, hydrated. It's interesting. It looks totally, it looks like TikTok skin, like that we all see on TikTok that we want, you know?
I also
Yes,
think it's amazing that it's only 8 weeks. So, what a
only eight
difference.
weeks. Exactly. And that's really the key here. We want to we want to encourage folks to use a sunscreen. And personally, I did not wear sunscreen for a very, very long time, being dark complexion. And I had to do my first clinical study to now remind myself to wear sunscreen every day. And the way that I do it, it's a bit funny, and I may have mentioned it before, but I have my sunscreen right next to my desk so that every time I start working, I apply my sunscreen. So I highly recommend everyone to wear sunscreen because just after 4 weeks or even 8 weeks, it will protect you against the sun, but also ensuring that you maintain this overall skin quality over time.
That's a great tip.
That's great, Awa. And this is a great segue for a quick break. And welcome back from our break.
So we hear often Awa, about broad spectrum protection. And we're wondering, could you explain a little bit to the audience about the term and any relevance to sunscreen use?
Yes, it's a great question. So, broad spectrum photoprotection means protection against both UVB and UVA. So, if you see a sunscreen that claims broad spectrum, it indicates that it protects against both UVB and UVA. And that is important to note because not all sunscreens are created equal. For a little bit of context, earlier sunscreens only provided protection against UVB. And this is a section of sunlight that is efficient at causing sunburn, DNA damage, as well as skin cancers. Then later, research also demonstrated that UVA can impact the skin and cause skin darkening or hyperpigmentation, photoaging, as well as skin cancers through a different mechanism. Since this discovery, more and more sunscreen were created to protect against both UVB and UVA, leading to the broad-term spectrum. And now in the US, the FDA has ensured that all sunscreens are now protecting against both UVB and UVA, now being broad spectrum.
So, Awa, can you tell us about special considerations for skin of color? I think you mentioned earlier about an article that discussed that.
Yes. So as I mentioned, within the field of skincare and just in general in dermatology, the topic of sun protection benefits and strategies and education for skin of color is a very hot topic. The research article titled Misconception of Photoprotection in Skin of Color, authored by thought leaders in the field of dermatology, emphasizes that due to the misconceptions of sunlight effects in skin of color, it is important for everyone, from the consumers, the patients, healthcare providers, beauty enthusiasts, as well as researchers, to know that sunscreens provides benefit not only preventing sunburns and skin cancers in all individuals, but also, and not just only in light individuals, but also reduces these chances of developing skin cancers, sunburns, as well as hyperpigmentation, and improve overall skin quality in skin of color patients. So it's very important that we all recognize the benefits of sunscreens, but also educate the benefits of sunscreens for all individuals, including skin of color.
Mm-hmm. I think what really stood out to me is that like hyperpigmentation in there, like really, I could see, like, taking it back to those pictures we were just seeing, I really saw a difference in the skin there.
Yes, I think
And
it's
for me, like a takeaway for me is the fact that people with skin of color might take longer to find those skin cancers because A, we didn't think we needed to wear sunscreen, and B, you might not see those, signs of cancer as early as someone with a lighter skin tone. So I think that was a big like aha moment for me, is preventing and knowing that everybody with skin has the same probabilities of getting that skin damage.
Yes, absolutely.
I can attest that we all have the capability of getting hyperpigmentation, because I definitely have one right here on my cheek, and it's been there for like 5 years. So
yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned this because it's true. Hyperpigmented spots or redness spot or spot that are red tends to last much longer. And so having a sunscreen or any other product that has an SPF will help minimize the appearance of those spots over time.
And what would you say, Awa, is the main concern, skin concerns that people see with skin of color? Is it different from lighter skin tones? Like, what are like some main concerns that people with skin of color see or want to change in their skincare?
Yeah, it seems that one of the major nuances between skin of color skin concerns versus lighter individuals is the discoloration or the hyperpigmentation or the uneven of the skin tone for skin of color. And the reason why is because our skin is so efficient at making melanin that any insult to our skin will lead to a change in the color, hyperpigmented spots or dark spots or something. And that seems to be a major concern for people of color. While lighter individuals, because of their lower levels of melanin, their major concern seems to be more on fine lines and wrinkles, or photoaging. And because of their lower melanin, they actually are more susceptible to photoaging, which leads to the fine lines and the wrinkles and that rough skin. While in our skin is that hyperpigmentation that is sensitive to sun exposure. So hence why we all emphasize the benefits of wearing sunscreen for all, because it can not only target the fine lines and reduce the appearance of rough wrinkles and rough skin, but it can also prevent skin darkening or hyperpigmented spot to appear over time.
So sunscreen for all. It's gonna fix
all.
everything.
Yes, sunscreen for all. I like that term.
That was literally what I was going to say. So, like, it just cemented for me. I'm like, I need sunscreen. You need sunscreen. Everyone needs sunscreen. Like, and maybe for different reasons, possibly, but we need it. Yeah.
We need it.
Anything that stood out for you, Kelly?
Yeah, I mean, I guess really what I'm even thinking about now is how often am I putting on sunscreen? Even working as in the industry for as long as I have, I need to put it on my desk, or I need to just, I'm like, when I'm getting ready in the morning, like every single day, because I mentioned, I have a dark spot. I have a hyperpigmentation, it's definitely from sun. It absolutely is. And to hear like, I could actually, continue to maybe improve by wearing sunscreen. That's a huge thing for me. So.
Yeah. And in later episodes, everyone, we'll go into, right now we're emphasizing wearing sunscreen, but reapplying sunscreen will be a whole other topic in future episodes. But thank you so much, Awa, for being here with us. And I hope this discussion and the research shared raised awareness with everybody on the importance of sunscreen and sun protection. And we'll see you here next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Awa.